What about prior criminal history? Does that affect how a new case will be handled? Same for injury cases. If you file injury claims all the time, does it change the outlook for results? So I think you talked a little bit about prior criminal history already, Eric, on at least the DUI front. Any other way that I'll talk a little bit about on the civil side, but any other way that criminal history or prior criminal convictions or history affects a subsequent case?
It's a world's difference. I would say, they can enhance the charges by charging you as someone who's prior and persistent or an aggravated offender. Let's say I got a couple drug cases, that were 10 years apart, possession, not harming anybody, not harmful to any individuals physically. But if I keep showing a pattern of that, if I get a third case, I can't expect to plead guilty and have the judge give me an SIS and allow me to remain non-convicted. I mean, criminal history is everything. It shows the likelihood of you repeating that behavior. I'm always very happy when my client's in this jam and it sounds tough, and then they manage to tell me, I don't have any criminal history. It makes me feel a lot better about the situation. It makes me feel it's negotiable. I have had clients who are kind of career criminals, and they get out of prison, they do what they do, and they go back, and their frequent flyer miles are off the charts. And we're not ever talking about probation when we're trying to negotiate it, and it can make a world's difference. And, if you're 18 and don't have a criminal history and you're shooting at somebody, we're probably not talking about an SIS just because you don't have a history. So there are exceptions, but for someone who's nonviolent, I would say criminal history shows a likelihood you can learn from this or you can't.
And on the civil side, it really affects it too. But the first thing you wonder is it's going to come in evidence, because it's not as relevant at a trial unless it's a lot of judges will keep it out. Now there's but if you have a felony or a crime of moral turpitude, then sometimes that'll come in. It's not going to really matter what relevancy is a felony conviction 10 years ago if you're sitting at a stoplight and get rear-ended? You didn't do anything.
Right.
What's the relevancy? But if it's a he said, she said, or if there's some challenges to the veracity of your medical history or that kind of stuff, it can come into play. Drinking, I had a case where I got rid of the case because we were going through about 800 pages of medical bills, and we found a bunch of alcohol at the scene of our plaintiff, which he did not tell us about, so we got rid of that one. I had a case one time, we were in a deposition. A friend of mine was deposing the client, and he's saying to her in the beginning of the depo, he's like, now did you serve federal time? Nope, did not serve federal time. And he went through all these criminal convictions. She denied everything. And then about an hour later, he's saying, now I have here a record of you getting neck treatment in Leavenworth, Kansas. He's like, oh yeah, that's when I was serving time. Oh. And so you served federal time. It's something you didn't remember, and you got medical care there, and here's the medical record. And so my advice to people, but at the same time, just because you have and I don't know the parlance, but you draw a charge or whatever, you get convicted, that doesn't mean people can hurt you or run into you or sell you a brag product or have an icy sidewalk or a truck driver can't go smash or any of that stuff. I mean, you still have rights. You don't give up your rights to get compensation for that. So the one thing I don't like is not to know it right away. So I like when I ask someone, they come and say, yeah, here's the deal. I got blah, 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 or I have this, that, or the other thing. That way we know how to handle it going forward rather than it being a surprise. The surprise is what kills you, because most good defense lawyers hide it until the depo, and then they're deposing your client and they're going wham, 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 and you're going, oh man, it's going to kill your credibility. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?